Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці.
Good health to you, fellow Ukrainians. On March 26, our National Guard celebrates its day, and it will be right if we all thank the National Guardsmen together. For the way the National Guard, together with all our warriors, is powerfully fighting for Ukraine. The strength and courage in the battle for Donbass, for the defense of Bakhmut and Avdiivka, for the heroic defense of Mariupol and Azovstal, for the battles in the Luhansk region, for the battles in the Kiev region, for the battle for Kiev. Together with all the defense and security forces of Ukraine, the Guardsmen ousted the occupier from the northern regions of our country, from the Kharkiv region. They are holding the line in the south, in the Zaporizhia direction. Separately, I want to thank the Offensive Guard, which has already become an example of the exemplary formation of new brigades for the Ukrainian defense. During the full-scale war, almost 5,000 National Guardsmen have already been awarded state awards precisely for their participation in battles, for bravery, resilience, and for the military results achieved by the National Guard. 32 warriors of the National Guard were awarded the title of Hero of Ukraine. I thank all Guardsmen, soldiers, sergeants, officers and command. Thank you to everyone who helps the units of the National Guard, who trains soldiers, provides them with everything they need, helps with treatment after injuries, with rehabilitation. The strength of Ukraine is the strength of all those who fight for Ukraine and who help the warriors. And it is simply impossible to imagine our state's might without the National Guard. On this day there was a meeting with the military, a special military meeting, a special circle of participants. I also held meetings with the security sector, with intelligence, defense, reinforcement of our protection, both from external threats and from internal threats. We are preparing respective steps. Constantly, invariably, maximum attention is paid to the situation on the front line, to the brutal battles that take the lives of our people every day and require constant mobilization of our state and society every day. It is wrong, it is unfair when our warriors who come from the front have the feeling that for many in the rear, the war is allegedly already over. For those who are not just far from the Donetsk region or Nikopol, from Saltivka, from the border areas of the Sumy region, from Zaporizhia, but who are mentally far from the trenches, from the daily pain of Ukrainians. Now, just as it was a year ago, one cannot be mentally far from the war. Although, thanks to our soldiers, real hostilities are taking place geographically far from many. Now, just as it was a year ago, it is important that as many Ukrainians as possible help the defense of the state, help the accumulation of world support for our victory. Fellow Ukrainians, support our warriors whenever possible. Don't forget about volunteers, fundraising campaigns, and join when you can. It is very important for everyone who has informational influence to participate in informational work. This applies not only to journalists. This applies to everyone who can spread the truth about aggression, who is capable of reminding the world about Ukrainian men and women who went through the occupation, through losses, about the fact that Ukraine is fighting for freedom and justice for our people and for all nations threatened by Russian tyranny. The world must hear as intensely as last year that the aggression against Ukraine continues. It must hear that ending the war already this year, liberating Ukraine from Russian evil this year, is a joint task of the civilized world, because civilized means, in particular, determined to defend civilization. I met with the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador Orlando Bloom and the UNICEF team, an organization engaged in humanitarian support and protection of children. Orlando Bloom has been working meaningfully in this direction for a long time. He has already been to Ukraine, in our Donbass, even before the full-scale war, and he knows what this aggression has brought, how full-scale the world's efforts must be to stop it, to restore Ukraine after the war. We discussed the issue of rebuilding our country, our school infrastructure. I appreciate this help. We agreed that our teams should work on several issues. In particular, this is the issue of the return of our children who were forcibly taken to Russia. This is the creation of bomb shelters for our children. And the third is the technical support of distance education in those areas and regions where it is impossible to study offline due to relevant threats. On March the 26th, as always, I will celebrate our warriors who gave a significant result to Ukraine over the past day, this day and this week in general. The 57th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 5th Separate Assault Brigade, and the 93rd Separate Mechanized Brigade. Well done, guys. Thank you for your strengths. The Marines of the 35th and 36th Separate Brigades, the warriors of the 55th Zaporizhzhia Sich Artillery Brigade, all in the Donetsk region, thank you for being the best week after week. I also want to celebrate the warriors of the North Operational and Strategic Group of Troops, who protect the Sumy region and the Chernihiv region. This is the defense against attempts of subversive groups, infiltration across the border. This is a cover for Ukraine from airstrikes, and this is a defense against the artillery of terrorists. Thank you to all our anti-aircraft gunners of the north, to all those who protect our state border, to all those who, with their courage and accuracy, make the enemy learn that the Kremlin will not conquer Ukraine. Glory to all our warriors who are in combat. Gratitude to everyone who helps the defense. Eternal memory and honor to all our warriors who gave their lives for Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.
Слава Україні!